Alright, that should be good. What's up everybody, Unrested back here. I haven't been around for a while because quite a bit's going on. We're closing in on the end of the year here for school years. Obviously it is now 2014, so it's not the end of the year, it's the end of the school year. School years here in Japan usually end around March. I've got 2 kids of my own, one transferring over to his first year of Youchien, which is kindergarten, from Hoikuen, which is preschool. That's a big deal. You gotta buy a lot of stuff. Here, let me just show you how much stuff you have to buy to get your kid ready for Youchien here in Japan. Those 2 gigantic bags there are just like filled with all different types of like clothing. Like here is, this is just like filled with like clay. So, because they have clay class for art. And you've got like a special backpack. They have to buy a special backpack. You actually have to like knit them bags for special classes. Like this is a special one for taiko. He's going to be taking taiko class. In case you don't know what that is, that's like drum class, Japanese style drum class. They've got special hats, like this is a field trip hat. This is an outdoor hat for like if the sun's out. They've got special stuff for everything. So school here is very, very official. My son made it into a very prestigious colloquial school, which I'm very proud of. He passed a pretty hard test, and yes, he had to pass that at age 3. Competition out here is rough to get into a good school, and I am very proud to say that my son did get into a very nice school, which, of course, I'm not going to say the name on here because YouTube. Anyway, recently, I haven't actually been working on any kind of projects or JFAQs. I have been saving up a lot of stuff that I'm going to put into a new Osoroshi Saturday that's coming out soon. I promise you, I've not given up on Osoroshi Saturday, but I'm all about originality when it comes to Osoroshi Saturday, and you know, I've got a lot to compete with. A lot of people are making stuff all the time with creepypastas and finding stuff on the internet, and some people even find some of the Japanese ones that I find. And that's okay. You know, I'm not exclusive. I can't say, hey, those are mine. I live in Japan, so only I can do those. That would be retarded. But I like to just keep it original. That's the thing. I like to find stuff that people haven't done much of yet, or it's rarely been covered, or I cover it in a new way, or I can actually show footage of a website or a video or something to go along with it, because I feel like me just talking about somebody's story that supposedly happened, it's kind of so-so. It's not so scary, not really getting me into the mood. I like to be a little bit creeped out myself when I research this stuff, hence I like to put a little bit of time in it. I got some new stuff coming out about Lisa Lam. If you don't know who she is, I've done a little bit about her in the past. There's been an update on her story that gets even creepier than what has happened already, and apparently they're even going to make a feature film about what happened to her in California. If you don't know who Lisa Lam is, you can look it up right now. Say Lisa Lam elevator video. You will see a very creepy story. If you're easily disturbed by things that are unexplained and creep you out, then I don't suggest you watch it. Otherwise, have a look and you'll see that I'll be doing a little bit more on that in a bit. Anyway, why I'm here today, no JFAQ, no Osoroshi Saturday. I actually, in my last video, I showed that I had rearranged the background behind me here, and I've even done a little bit more. And a couple people wrote in, they said, you know, hey, you know, I like your JFAQ, I like your Osoroshi Saturday, that's cool, but you never talk about this stuff in the background. What is all this stuff? Like, tell us a little bit about it. And I've talked a little bit about some stuff. Like, I've talked about like my Pokemon collection in the past, and how I'm really into horror movies. I like metal and death metal, deathcore, grindcore, digigrind. All that type of metal music. Now, I'm open to all types of music, but those are some of my favorite. So this is kind of an amalgamation of those collections. And what I thought I'd do today is just kind of like give you a view of everything, because I finally made one final trip to my house in America one last time. Well, not last time, I'll go back to America again. But this last trip, I should say, I finally collected the last remnants of my American life. I brought every last thing over to Japan, which is, I mean, it's pretty incredible. I'm going on 8 years now here in Japan, and I have not a scrap of my life. I mean, not even like a social security card or driver's license left in America. You know, of course, my parents still live there, and they have their own house, which that's what I mean when I say I went home. I guess it's not really my house, but my parents' home will always be my home, right? But now I don't own a single thing there. I don't know, is my son really loud over here? He's having a blast playing. He just woke up, so I don't want to disturb him. I want to let him have a good time. So I'm not going to tell him to be quiet. I'm just going to let him be ambience for this video. Let's go ahead and just dive in. I want to just show you around, okay? I'm mostly going to just turn the camera around and show you this stuff because you've seen my face long enough and in too many videos already. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to just turn this around and narrate. Here we go. Alright, so first of all, what I should do, I've got a thing back here. Look, I got a nice thing of Spanish wine here. I should turn on this light because I actually have a lighting system rigged up in the back here. See? I just turned it on. Alright, I'm sorry if this blurs out a little bit, and also I might have to suddenly switch to a cut and an edit because the battery sign is flashing right now. This right here is pretty standard. You're probably like, what the hell is that? This is a set of slippers for if company comes over to your house. You always have a set of slippers ready to allow them to walk around your house in slippers. So let's just start from the bottom. Right there, like I said, is a nice bottle of red Spanish wine that my wife ordered. I haven't indulged as of yet. I'm not really a big wine drinker, but my wife is. And right here at the bottom is kind of my collection of tattoo paraphernalia. As you know, I do a little bit of tattooing on my own time. I would just say I'm more of a casual artist when it comes to this kind of stuff. I've tattooed both of my legs, a couple of my friends' legs. I've done one arm and one chest, but other than that, I can probably count. Well, no, I was going to say I could count every tattoo I've done on 2 hands, but I've done 13, so unless you're a mutant, you can't count that on 2 hands. Next up, we've got just a very simple scene here. You're going to see the next 3 of these are just little RPG scenes I've set up here. Apparently the light's burned out. I used to have a light that turned on there that lit up that pretty nice. It's a shame. I gotta change that light bulb. We got some Valkyries battling with bone dragons and a green dragon here. What's wrong, Maki? You okay? I'm right here, bud. I'm in the other room, okay? He's freaking out a little bit there. I just want to let him know he's okay. Oh, so here we've got kind of like a orc warrior on a raptor tyrannosaurus type thingy, about to fight a red dragon with some xenoids here and stuff. You probably know, if you've ever played any kind of board game like this before, it's from the Heroescape. I bought almost every Heroescape expansion and everything possible. Got some magic cards there in the corner. In the very back, this is actually a oil painting I did of the Chaos God Khorne, blood for the blood throne, as it says. Blood for the blood throne, bones for the throne of Khorne. Blood for the blood god, bones for the throne of Khorne. That's how it goes, yeah. My very prized child-size gas mask. That is for a child only. So if, you know, the pollution from China gets too bad, I can always give that to one of my sons. At least one of them will survive. Wow, that's dark. What do we got here? We got some more. This is actually Dungeons and Dragons minis. With some death metal album covers in the background. We've got Dimmu Borgir and Unholy in the background there. I think Cataclysm back there, which is actually more death metal. It's not black metal. Got some messed up looking little dude here in a little cage that I bought at an art shop. I thought that fit him perfectly. And then here's actually an art project I did by myself. This is a set of Kewpie babies that they actually come totally naked. Like you can see like how this guy is here. I zoomed in a little too close too fast. Totally naked. I painted them down, arted them up, and punked them out. And you can see, you know, they're alright. They're not too bad. Got a zombie, like a Jason one. Back here, this guy, I don't have him plugged in right now, but his head actually lights up. Unfortunately, you can see some of the paint's flecked off. That's a shame. The red ones are doing okay. I made these little demon baby ones, and they did okay. Over here, these are little, like scary viewfinders. You can see scenes from Sadako 3D in these little viewfinders. That's what those are from. Sadako 3D is, I guess you would say, a sequel to the Ring movies, if you're into that sort of thing. As you can see, famous painting in the background. If you can name the artist who that's from, you get 1 unrested point. Add it to your, I guess, list of unrested points that you've gathered. I've got toys that are still in the box. The Lord of the Rings one's actually been opened because I've actually played that game before. I used to be big into clicks, but I'm not into that kind of toy anymore. I don't have time. But we've got, oh, Luffy right here. Right here is Luffy. And if you take a look right here, Luffy was actually sent to me by a viewer whose name I cannot recall right now because it's actually about 6 months ago that this was sent. But if that viewer is watching right now, just know that your Luffy is much appreciated, and add it to my collection of little toys in the background here. So anytime anybody sends me anything, like over here, I'm gonna kind of cover it up a little bit because it's got an address on it, but like Mexican Samurai, who I'm friends with, you know, he sent me like a nice Christmas card that was laminated and everything with pictures of his family update, kind of like on their life and everything like that, what went on in the year 2013 with them. And if anybody sends me stuff like that that's related to like J-vlogging and stuff like that, I always make sure to add it to this wall because I'm really very proud of any stuff that people send me. I'm very excited, very appreciative, and I am very humble in the fact that I know that you guys made this channel. I didn't. You guys gave me the questions. That's how I made JFAQ. Anyway, we got some old school Spawn toys here. This guy's probably my oldest one. I think, now someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking he's from the original set. And that's why I've never opened that one. I found him at a shop called Superpositions. And he was 300 yen. That's like $3. Super cheap. This guy too, he's kind of lame looking because he's just all painted silver, but he was 300 yen. And I was like, wow, that is a steal. Back there, I don't know if you can see, that's Chicken Joe from Juyonsai. And I don't know if that has a different name, but that's a Kazu Umezu horror manga about a chicken in a lab who's experimented on, grows limbs and a full humanoid body, and then begins to render a plague upon the world that kills anyone who ages beyond the age of 14. A very creepy, weird novel. Back here, we have kind of a mixture of collections. Tortured Souls with Hellraiser, which I think that's a pretty good combination. They almost look like the same damn thing. I don't know, did Clive Barker make both of those? Possibly. It would make sense. We've got some Clicks figures in here, some Mage Knight. We've got some D&D figures, I think, pushed into the back there too. Spawn figure. Yeah? What's up? I see you got some train tracks there, buddy. That's cool. And we got some old school Jason figures. Most of you might not know, but the first 2 Jason movies, he did not actually wear the Jason helmet, the famous hockey mask. He had a bag over his head in the second one, and in the first one, you never even see Jason till the very, very end where his childlike corpse comes out of the water. His mother is actually the villain in the first one. So I've got his mother there, and her head's actually detachable. True story. We got the Tortured Twins, we've got Jason from, I believe this is Freddy versus Jason because it came with the fire. On the other side you've got the opposing Freddy, and they came together in a package. Got a couple Pokemons, them Pokemons, I got them up there because Pokemon's them straight gangsta. And got an original copy of the Max because I have a tiny baby over here who's talking to me right now, and his name is Max, and it's spelled the exact same way. 2 X's in his name. I call him Maki, that's his nickname. Here is DCC RPG, and I don't know if many of you know this, but I actually work for a third-party publisher for DCC RPG, so very happy to own this book. As you can see, here's one of my most famous publications for them. I don't know, have I ever shown this before? I should show this because this is like actually my real work. You can see Scott Ackerman. People always ask me like, you don't teach anymore, like what do you do? Well, here's what I do. I draw this stuff. I should show you a couple pages in case no one's actually ever seen like what I actually do for a job here. So like this is what I do. I do these kind of like old school hand-drawn illustrations that are then later scanned into books like this. You can see like I made up these really weird kind of bio hazard type monsters, I guess you would call them, and they're pretty much, people write me descriptions and I then draw them. I don't write anything. This guy, Rhodes Glore, he writes most of the books that I draw for, and he's much better at writing than I am. I suck really bad at writing. Not a very good writer. Alright, let me just push this back in here. Alright, I'm gonna have to put the camera down for a second. I'm gonna leave it on so you can watch me struggle to push this back in here. I have my stuff put into a very systematic way, you know, all the DCC stuff with itself, the D&D stuff with itself, the Shadowrun stuff with itself, like as you can see here. I keep even all my box games together and everything. Oh, guess what? I do have that separated by Descent, which is not D&D. That is like Rune something or other. I can't remember the company's name. I've never worked for them, so I don't know. Anyway, Shadowrun. I did a little bit of artwork for some third-party publishers for Shadowrun. They're kind of like unofficial publishers. And a lot of small unofficial publications for D20. There's so much D20 work out there. I'd highly say if you're super interested into getting into the RPG illustration scene, do some D20 type adventures, man. Or Pathfinder too. Pathfinder's really open-minded with having third-party publishers. So if you're interested in getting into that whole gig like me, you know, try working for people who write for them. But like, yeah, as you can see, this is kind of like my RPG shrine. I don't know what you would call it. I've got a lot in here. And it's a little bit like a collection of box games with books with like, unfortunately, most of the publications I've done are very, very thin because, you know, I just do the drawings. I don't ever do any of the writing. So if there's a lot of writing involved, I don't have a copy of it. Collection of my my games, all my different games, my PS3s, which I was trying to say, games. As you can see, most of them are from Japan, but, you know, some of them are actually from America. I think this one, My Two Worlds, is actually from GameStop in America. And these are both imports, Yakuza 3 and 4. As you know, the original is something Dragon Movement. I can't remember. Gotoku Ryu, I think, is the original title for Yakuza. Dragon Movement. Got my DS, 3DS and DS games here. Some of these again from America, some of these from Japan. These obviously from America and these from Japan. Now, as you might know, the 3DS you can't switch over games like you can with the DS. Like with the DS I can play American and Japanese games. 3DS unfortunately can't do that. So I actually own a 2DS, a 3DS, and, well, actually, why don't I just show you my collection instead of me being an idiot? So you can see, yeah, I've got like old school Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Color. I've got some really old games. Like this one's, I find this one so hilarious because this is a game about like Bosuzoku or like Chimpira, which are like first level like Yakuza, like kind of like, it'd be like in America if they made like a juvenile game about Bloods and Crips fighting each other, and I find that so freaking funny. Here, let me turn a light on in here. I don't actually have a light on, and maybe you can see it a little bit better now. We've got a little bit of my Pokemon collection. This is my all-time favorite Pokemon, the Sock. If you guys were ever wondering, Sock is my all-time favorite. And what's his name? I can't remember. I like him too. I beat Black with Umbor, so I'm a very big Umbor fan. I'm always a fire Pokemon fan. I beat what was that, Diamond, that I played with him? I can't remember anymore. And I have this one. This is obviously from Japan. I don't know if you guys know the controversy behind that Pokemon. It was actually banned, well, and then changed into a purple-skinned Pokemon because America apparently found it to be a racist Pokemon. They said it was like a copy of Blackface, which I seriously doubt the Japanese ever intended that. They're so innocent in the things that they create that they were probably just like, Hontoni? Gomenasai, sore wa kawaru? Like, you know, they were probably very surprised that America found that to be offensive. I don't think they had that intention at all, but nonetheless, they changed it for America. And I think I actually have one, the same character again, but changed with purple skin. Here's some of my horror movie collection, I guess you would say, mixed with some of my anime collection, some of the very, very famous Ghibli movies mixed with Grave of the Fireflies there. Incredibly sad movie. I don't recommend it if you have kids. Very hard to watch. Along with some of the ones I've bought here in Japan too. As you can see, this kind of gives the era of what time I moved into Japan around, when these movies were for sale and cheap, because as you may not know, DVDs in Japan are incredibly expensive. We got Mage Knight. These are not actually books, they actually like open up. And I've kept all the letters my mom and dad have sent me here in Japan, because my mom and dad are awesome. I've got more movies here, like Golden Egg. If you guys don't know what the Golden Egg movies are, you should seriously check those out sometime. They are incredibly hilarious, and almost all of them have English subtitles. Got the Freddy collection here, along with some of my Warhammer Fantasy roleplay game. We've got the Freddy collection, Warhammer 40k books. Here's some of my manga collection. Shinya Shokudo Juyonsai, as I talked about before. Teta Therma Rome. What else? Oni-san. Those are all good. And here, I guess I can open this for you, but it's kind of a boring one. Just like our CD collection. I have so many CDs. I mean, these are all filled up with CDs, but then if we even take this, and if you look back in there, I don't know how well you can see, but those are like stacked up. Those are probably like over 1,000 CDs in there. And I recently just got to bring that from America, and I am so happy to have all my American music back. Oh, this is kind of cool. This is my 3DS holder. Custom Pokemon thing there. Cool. Showed you this one already. This is my whole Nintendo, my Shrine to Nintendo collection. This is learning books for my sons, plural. I have 2 sons. And my wife's dental books. I can't read any of the kanji on those. Those are way too hard. IQ 84. A very famous Murakami book. I highly recommend if you get a chance to read it. More books for my kids to read, which mostly these are Japanese. I can read those because they're in hiragana, so that's not so hard. A very old collection, the Johnson Morrow books. I love these books, man. My mom found a bunch of them at a garage sale, remembered how much I liked them, bought the whole set and sent it to me here in Japan. Very expensive to send because that's a heavy set. Oh look, we've got like some of the very first Japanese books I ever studied. You can see I studied the hell out of this until like the cover fell off. More dental books, and let's just get a good scan of my figure collection here. We've got Spawn, that scary doll that I used in a Osoroshi Saturday thing. We've got Jason, giant resin Jason that's broken. That if anybody does any resin work here in Japan, give me a call and tell me. Got a massive Jason figure here. I don't know if you can figure out how big that thing is. It's like 22 inches tall, I think. It's pretty freaking huge. And oh yeah, something else a viewer sent me here in Japan, a Dawn of the Dead poster, and it's actually, I don't know if you guys can see, it's actually signed by Romero, George Romero. He actually, I guess the person who sent this to me went to a horror convention, got it signed, and sent it to me. I mean, how awesome is that? Talk about awesome viewers. You guys are totally awesome with the stuff you guys send me. And I got some death metal albums back there, and some original artwork by me. Pantheon of demonic gods. I made that up for a whole thing based on like a fake hell type world. The Infernal Demonicon, which is kind of like a demonic Bible I made up for another game. And then this was one I made originally just for myself. It was called The Necropocalyptica, and it was a book about like a world ruled by the dead. Very, very morbid. And oh yeah, well, I don't want to forget this, my whole little like Pokemon thing here. We got like the med center there, the Pokemon healing center. I've just got so many Pokemon I can't really display them all. But this is what I got room for.
So you can see, I haven't bought any XY ones yet. I think I'm gonna probably buy those when they go on sale. So that's about anything. Everything that I have here. I guess if you have any questions, feel free to write me. Oh, one last thing. My skateboard that I've decorated myself. I don't get any time to skateboard at all anymore. I've taught my son a little bit, but I decorated that whole skateboard myself. That was very fun. And that's everything. That is everything. If you have any questions about anything you saw here today, you know, put them in the comments. And guys, I don't know. I guess emails go somewhere now. Maybe they go to the email account connected to your YouTube, but unfortunately for me, that was a Facebook email, and now Facebook has shut down their email, so I don't know where that email goes. I think it used to originally go to like your own YouTube email, which I could easily check, but now that's gone, so I'm not sure where messages are going anymore. I'm really sorry. I haven't answered anybody in ages because they've just fucked everything up so much. I don't know where anything goes. Comments are a pain in the ass too. Like, there's a lot that they make me review them and then accept them, but I guess they just decide, like some kind of bot decides that they're controversial or like comments that I might not want. And they're not at all. They're always comments that are totally sublime. They're sometimes very nice comments. There's sometimes comments just asking a question. I don't get the whole new YouTube thing. It doesn't really work very well. But I'm really sorry I haven't been too active on answering people's comments because it's really been a pain, honestly. Not you guys' fault at all. Until next time, I am Unrested, and that was a view of my different collections today. Eventually I'd like to show you a full thing of my house again to give you kind of an update. It's been changed a lot since I first showed it back in 2009, I think. Obviously a lot happens in 5 years, so I'll have to show you kind of an update on the house too. Anyway, Unrested, if you like what you saw today, please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'll see you on JFAQ.